So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to the greatest watch market update show. As you know, I've been away for a couple of weeks. I took my wife for her birthday. We went out for some time to get a couple of massages, holding hands, and doing all those good things. They put rocks on your back and rocks on your head. I don't know. And they even did something about with needles. They put needles on my body. I don't know, is to get me relaxed, and my wife said we should do that, so we did that too. And I gotta tell you, those islands over there of the Maldives Islands, they're unbelievable. Those people over there in Maldives, they're very wonderful people. So we had a real good time. So that's why I've been away for some days, because I had to attend to my wife loves me and I love my wife. A happy wife is a happy life. And so, we did that. We did a little shopping. We bought a couple of, my wife always likes to bring objects, from these different countries, one of those, face with a bone, coming out of the nose. You know what I'm trying to say, right? You know what I'm trying to say. So we had a good time. It was a real good time, and we got to relax. The whole point of the trip was for us to relax, because we're very busy, grandparents. I don't know if you guys know. I'll say it again. We are grandparents of three boys, and they take a lot of time from us, and so we need to rest as well, because my body aches, and I'm not like that no more. I don't work like that no more. I try to tell my wife, Mommy, I don't work like that no more. I used to, but not no more. If you understand what I mean, fine. If you don't, I don't care. Just to let you know what's going on. A little bit of water. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, this is the only public service watch announcement channel out there. And we have been under a lot of attack. And but it's just attack, attack. 63, you know what I'm trying to say, 30 West Mike. Thank you for understanding me. So, we are under a lot of attack, and you hear me, okay? You hear me. So, it's nothing bad. It's part of the gig, it's part of what it is. So, the channel is healthy, but we are under attack, just to let you know. So remember that when you guys give a thumbs up to the channel, you letting them know in the algorithm that you are with this channel and you like this channel, what this channel brings. We don't need in this channel more than 10 people in our life. We don't need more than 10. It's enough for us. It's enough, because with 10 people, the word gets out there. Forget about, how many views I got. The people are hearing me, and they want me to stop, but I'm not going to stop, right? So keep on giving us a thumbs up. Remember that this is your host, the Big Boss, okay? I'm your host, the Big Boss. And Sweet Kick Kino has told me already, he's given me instructions to pass it along to you, that very soon we are going to have a new network channel, and it's going to be called the Big Boss Watch Channel, starting me, So just to let you know, there's going to be another channel called the Big Boss Watch Channel. We're fixing already the logo, with a big boss, a logo with a big boss and a watch. So I'm letting you guys know what's going on, because you people need to know the truth and nothing but the truth, right? I'm just letting you know what's going on. I want you to know that everything in life, blows up, and then it just, se termina. It's over. Like La Bubu. La Bubu doll? The Bubu doll. I think I'm saying it wrong. The doll, the La Bubu doll is over. Se terminó La Bubu. So just to let you know, just in case you're thinking about La Bubu, dolls, forget about that, Eso basura. It's junk. No more. They told you they're selling you one for $100. You don't want it no more. La Bubu is over. Se terminó. Se jodió todo ya. Just to let you know what's going on, okay? And remember, ladies and gentlemen, in this channel, we say the truth. Smart money is staying away from luxury goods. Get it through your head. The watch market is dead. Smart money is staying away from luxury goods. And we also have the no spending money challenge of 2026. Remember, the no spending money challenge of 2026. Like, the ice bucket challenge. Back in 2014, people would throw water in their head. We throw money, no more spending money. You know what I'm trying to say, Doc Minka, Florida? Saludos, papá. So I'm letting you know what's going on. I'm letting you guys know what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, I put some pictures out there last month. And I show you some watches, some leak pictures of watches that they were going to be coming around. Coming around. And ladies and gentlemen, they have sent me some pictures again from over there, real far from Europe over there. And ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe the watches that they say that these are not. I repeat, and everything that I'm telling you here is allegedly. But they say that these pictures are not leaks. These are the real things that they say is coming out now. And, and that show over there and Wonders and Watches over there. And one watch is a Yacht Master. Beautiful Yacht Master. I think I don't know. I don't think it's a 44. With all due respect, I think it's a 40 millimeter Yacht Master, with a blue ceramic bezel, oyster bracelet. I don't know if it's white gold. I don't know if it's stainless steel. You guys can help me out with that subject because you guys are smarter than me. I'm stupid like that. I don't know too much. But they say that Yacht Master, beautiful. I mean, I'm telling you, it even has something like, under, like under there, under there has like numbers. It's unbelievable, like a flying saucer. And that's the Yacht Master. And also, ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this, but they also have this, and they've been talking about this. I have read about this for the last, exactly, on April 14th to the 20th, you're going to have Watches and Wonders over there, over there in Geneva, over there in Geneva. Sweet Kid Kino's trying to make some money to go over there with a side chick that he has, but I don't know. I don't think Kino is going to make it over there. He's doing too much, too much alcohol, Está descontrolado. Descontrolado. Thank you so much, Watch Addict, for for those kind words. Thank you very much. So that watch that I was talking to you about, it is a Rolex date. A Rolex date with a jade green dial. Jade green dial. Unbelievable. I don't know if it's yellow gold, rose gold. It's one of those colors, but it has a jade green dial. And, Sweet Kid Kino started working with the, with the camera and, I think it's called Chat GPT. And, another one is called Dragon. All these names they have now for IA or AI. You know what I'm trying to say. And he put me in a video with if you look at the short video, you're gonna see me there. And I made a video with the J Green dial, with the Rolex. So it's there, They saying it's for real, exactly, the same dial as the Green Beach, correct? So they're saying that too. And these people are unbelievable. These people from over there, those people from Rolex factory, they're unbelievable, Pero it's amazing, right? I'm telling you what it is because, Sweet Kid Kino, he might have a drinking problem. He might have, he likes to hang out with different women and spend all his money on booze and all that. And, in those dark hotels he stays in. But he's a smart man. He's involved in, Chat GPT. If you want to look into something, you look into that. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you, AI will finish the world. AI will finish the world because I'm telling you, and they have different levels to make you even more perfect. ICA material, ICA material. Because this is like, from a scale of 1 to 10, what you see me is probably, eso así grande. Bravo, grande, coño. Es grande, carajo. So the level that you see me right now in that short video, it's like a level 2. You know, if you put that like in a level 7, you know, it's like, you know, Mission Impossible, you know, like James Bond, you know. You know, I love you right back, grande. Gracias, papi. So, you know, I'm just letting you know, if you want to look at something, you look at Chat GPT. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I think it's Chat GPT. That's one. And then another fellow told me something about a dragon. I don't know what it was. I know but that one costs like $100 a year to have that one, you know? But I think, you know, Sweet Kino did his homework. You know, saludos Thurston Howard III. Gracias for the big boss. And I think he found the right AI, IA, whatever you call it. So don't forget, Chat GPT. We're sponsoring it. You know, we're sponsoring. And also, they are talking about another leaked picture. It is the Rolex Daytona. You know, the Rolex Daytona. You really can't see, you know, what's in there, but it looks to me like it is a meteorite dial, you know? It looks like it's a meteorite dial, and it's a black ceramic bezel, you know? So I'm just giving you a heads up, all right? I'm letting you know what's going on. Don't forget that we are going to have a new affiliate, you know, network channel, and it's going to be called the Big Boss Watch Channel. You know, it's another one. It's Kino's doing this channel for, you know, AI, you know, it's about me, you know. People like Kino, what he wants to do with me, wants to finish me off. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm noticing that we have 18 organic subscribers and recovering tomato cans and only 7 thumbs up. I am telling you, they're attacking this channel. They want to knock it out of the system. You know, and you guys are not listening to me. This is your channel. This is your channel. And everything that I do it with my heart. Pero si ustedes no apoyan, estamos jodidos. All of you out there are going to get the localization for free. That's all I'm telling you. That's all. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something else. So you understand where we're going with this situation of watches. And we're going to be talking about no other than the king of watches, okay? Not Aleister Crowley, you know, not Aleister Crowley, you know, whatever his name is. You know Aleister Crowley? You know Aleister? You guys don't know about, do you guys know about Aleister Crowley? Just look at the triangle. That's Aleister Crowley right there. Aleister Crowley. Does anybody know who Aleister Crowley is? Aleister Crowley. Just tell me yes or no and I stop. You know, you don't know. If you say yes, I stop. I'm going to stop anyway. No saben nada. Esta gente no sabe un carajo. Exactly. Very well. Very well. Good. So the reason I'm saying that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about the king, you know, the king of watches, the crown, you know, the crown of watches. And ladies and gentlemen, you don't understand this. Rolex has launched a watchmaking university school, you know, a watchmaking university school on, you know, on making watchmakers to come to their school to learn how to look at little springs and little screws, you know, like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that. They have a school over there in the Lone Star State in Texas. If any of you out there want to become a watchmaker, they need you. They need you over there in Texas because they don't have enough watchmakers for the plan of attack they got for all of us. And ladies and gentlemen, when they prepare you to become exactly, you know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say, Watch Addict. You know what I'm trying to say. Thank you very much, you know, for saying it. So, because, you know, I say it in a funny way to relax your body, but it's what it is, you know. And ladies and gentlemen, you can make between $100 $100,000. I think 95 to 110 to $120,000 a year, and you get to wear the white lab coat with the Rolex over here. You become one of those watchmakers. You know, I don't know what they do to you in the school. I don't know if you have to swear. I don't know if you have to get localized. I don't know what it is, but they're paying that. Just in case you want to go into that field, it's there. I'm telling you what's going on. You know, I'm telling you what's going on. You Swift just said the Tugger University. Ladies and gentlemen, before we continue on, please, let's salute the owl. All of us, please put an owl. I want to see an owl on the comments, an owl. And do the flap. And do the flap. And do the salute the owl, you know? Salute the owl. Salute the owl. We're doing that because I have to. Ladies and gentlemen, let me be honest. I do all this not because I like it. I'm just, showing them respect, so they don't throw a TV tower lightning on my TV and say, Jodió estoy yo. You know what I'm trying to say. Papi, this is the only channel left out there with real, honest content. Not stage. Not stage. And I'm going to go into that. All right? I'm going to go into that. But ladies and gentlemen, I told you about the Rolex launch a watchmaking university school in the Lone Star state of Texas. I'm letting you know, you want to go there, they want you. They want you, We want you. We want you. Like the song. Okay. I'm going to tell all of you something, ladies and gentlemen. These Michiganers, these Muppet boiler room secondary grade watch market dealers who have been fleecing you and hoodwinking you for too long, right now they're banking on this watch, and they're banking solidly on the Rolex GMT stainless steel Jubilee bracelet, red and blue ceramic bezel, black dial. They call it the Pepsi. The Pepsi with the Jubilee bracelet. And they're asking for that watch out there. No sean pendejo. No sean lambones. You know what they're asking for that watch out there, ladies and gentlemen? Do you know what they're asking for? A full, wrapped in plastic, full, white dial, hanging, everything. Do you know what they're asking for that watch out there? Does anybody know what they're asking for the Rolex GMT? Absolutely 30 West. You say it like it is 30. You say it like it is 30 West, Mike. You know what you're talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, they're asking out there for that watch $33,000. You know why? Because they're looking for a sardine can. A sardine can that will pay the $33,000, the $32,000, the $31,000. You understand me, ladies and gentlemen? You got to be careful with your children's tuition money. You got to be careful with your wife's 401k, ladies and gentlemen. You got to stop being sardine cans. You got to stop being sandbags. You know what a sandbag is, ladies and gentlemen? You know when you go to those places and they have sand and they have like a little wood box on one side, and then the other side they have another wood box, and you stay in that side and I stay in this side, and I throw a sandbag and I try to get into the hole. Well, that's what you guys are. You guys are a bunch of sandbags, ladies and gentlemen. You got to continue kicking rocks. I know what I'm trying to tell you, ladies and gentlemen. These guys are a bunch of flim-flammers who have been used to fleecing you guys onto Sweet Kick Kino. Open this channel, ladies and gentlemen. Sweet Kick Kino's unbelievable. But ladies and gentlemen, I know what I'm trying to tell you, Papi. I know what you might love it, 30 West, but you know what it costs. And I don't think you're going to pay $32,000 for that watch, You know what I'm saying? They're calling it a unicorn. A unicorn. Unbelievable unicorn. You know what it is, a unicorn? They're calling that watch a unicorn. My sinuses. Hey, what happened here? My pulse. Everything is falling apart, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to believe this. I can't believe this. This beautiful painting fell off. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened here. Folks, listen to this. Unbelievable, this painting fell Oh, guys, I'm having a great time. It's an attack. It's an attack. I'm telling you, they're throwing things at me. I don't know what it is. But ladies and gentlemen, be careful with your children's tuition money. I'm telling you, everything is falling, dropping. I'm telling you, I know what I'm trying to tell you guys. Saludos, Alex. Saludos. Welcome to the show, Alex. Un abrazo y un cariño, papá. Un abrazo y un cariño. They want us out. Ladies and gentlemen, they want us out. They want us out. I know what I'm trying to tell you. They want us out. I'm telling you. They're getting desperate. The Muppets. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to know that in all fairness, I love you too, Alex. De verdad que sí, papá. I want you to know that I make up the catchphrases and the rest copy me, you know? I'm just letting you know. And I don't get mad. They can use Muppet Boiler Room, secondary grade watch market channels and dealers. I'm not going to get mad at them. They know who the original OG is. It's no other than Sweet Kid Kino. Sweet Kid Kino is the original. Remember, Kino's the brains, and I am the voice. That's all. But the owner of this channel is Sweet Kid Kino. Just to let you know. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I also want to tell you something because thank you, 30 West. Thank you, Papa. I also want to say, well, I'm going to talk about that in a second, Alex, because I want you to hear all these messages that I had for you. You know, when I was over there in the Maldives Islands, I'm telling you, I was getting massages with rocks. Volcano rocks in my body, and my wife was next to me and she had like a towel on. You know, this is not no BS. This is for real. This is square business. And every time I was getting the massage, because I'm telling you, we were there, we must have gotten, with all honesty, you know, all types of massages on my fingers, on my toes, on my head, on my back, rocks, your volcano rocks, mud bath. You ever taken a mud bath? Mud bath? I took a mud bath, you know, mud bath. Unbelievable. And then they gave us a little bit of, you know, romantic champagne. But, you know, let me not keep on, you know, describing what happened, you know, because I don't work like that no more. I don't work. I told my wife I don't work that way. But anyway, I got to relax and I was able to do some of my own things, you know, that I brought for this show for today, for this live show. And you're not going to believe this, ladies and gentlemen. What I did over there was unbelievable. I was able to, you know, concentrate. And I want you to know something, ladies and gentlemen. I was reading about a gentleman, ladies and gentlemen. Saludos, Christopher. Saludos, grandes. Saludos, Alex. Saludos a todos ustedes. Un abrazo y un besote a todos ustedes. I was reading over there, ladies and gentlemen, about a gentleman. I don't know if you know who Calvin, you know, Calvin Warsh. Do you guys know who Calvin Warsh is? You know, it's spelled Kelv as in Victor, IN, and Warsh is Warsh. You know who that guy is? That's fine. You don't have to know who he is. But ladies and gentlemen, I was reading on this guy, and he said, and I quote what he said. He said, if you're under, if you are under, listen to this, if you are under the age of 40 years old, he says, and I quote, I'm not saying that I agree with him. I'm telling you what these people, wow, somebody knows who it is already. See that? I'm not playing around, guys, Bobby. I got smart people in this channel. Because this channel is theirs too, so they help me out. And they write better than me. They read better than me. I probably have like a 7th grade reading level, you know? Unbelievable to be true, you know? 7th, you know? It's like it is, you know? 7 grado. But anyway, that gentleman, the Grande, just put up there that you must really, you know, you must really read that, you know? Read what he's writing down. Read what he's writing down. When I tell you what these people, I'm back. I'm back, Mr. Donald. You know, the big boss is back. And again, just in case you missed it, the big boss, Sweet Kikino, is opening up a new network channel. You know, with a new channel, it's going to be called the Big Boss Watch Channel, starting me. You know, just to let you know, so you know what's going on. The Big Boss Watch Channel is going to be a new channel now. It's going to be dedicated to, you know, IA, AI, I don't know, you know. So this gentleman, he said these words. I'm not going to get into the long story today, but I am going to tell you this because we have a lot of people, they're believers and that they're buying, you know, they're buying the dip, you know, the dip. You understand now? We got people in this channel who are believers and are buying the dip. And ladies and gentlemen, Kelvin Walsh said these words. And he said, if you are under 40 years of age, if you are under 40 years of age, Bitcoin is your new gold. I told you we touch everything here. That doesn't mean that I agree with none of that stuff. I'm just telling you what it is. Because in this channel, we cover everything. Because we're stupid like that. To let you know. Okay? So, if you want to know about Kelvin Walsh, you look into what Grande, Mr. Grande, he takes his time to type, he put it there. So you can see quién es el animal ese. Es un animal. Just to let you know. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to tell you that the guy from Pennsylvania Avenue, the Pennsylvania Avenue guy, whether you like him, whether I like him, eso no importa. That doesn't matter. But ladies and gentlemen, we had a deficit. We had a real big deficit in the United States of America. Vamos a tomar un poquito de agüita porque esto está cabrón, mano. Esto está exagerado. We had a very big deficit when he was coming down Pennsylvania Avenue, entering the White House. Listen and learn, palomos. Listen and learn. No sean lambones. And he was coming down in that big, you know, they call that guy that the car, the big Lincoln or big Lincoln Continental, whatever they call it. I don't know what the name of it. You know, his limousine. He was coming down Pennsylvania Avenue and going to the White House. And we probably had, ladies and gentlemen, I'm only telling you what I read. We probably had like around a 20 million deficit. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, how embarrassing what I said. A $20 trillion deficit. $20 trillion deficit. And ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this. It's the truth. No matter who you like, the blue team or the red team, es la misma mierda con diferente peste. It's the same shit with different smell. Ladies and gentlemen, the deficit hit an all-time high of $39 trillion. And he said that he was going to lower the deficit. You know, for whatever reason, people are sitting on case. That's right. I'm telling you what it is. I'm letting you know what's going on. You know, the TS over there in the airports, you know, they're not getting paid. There's no more pigs this Christmas. No more pigs this Christmas for bonuses. The TSA, whatever you call them over there. Ladies and gentlemen, if I tell you this, you're not going to believe me. When we were flying around the airports, you know what they would tell us in the hotel? You're not going to believe me when I tell you this. If my flight was, you had to be in the airport, you're not going to believe this when I tell you this, papi. You're not going to believe me. If my flight was, you had to be in the airport 3 hours before the plane would leave, we had to leave 6 hours. You don't know about that. You don't know about that. And that's all right. I'm here to tell you. That's why you don't know about that, because I'm here to tell you. You understand me? 47, he needs to get paid. Because 47 needs to get paid. Ladies and gentlemen, esto es una locura. Exactly. Thank you. Coño, then you know what I'm trying to say. Help me out, Thurston. Help me out, Mr. Donut. Christopher, say something grande, por el amor de Dios. Alex, por favor. Help these people out. Let this show go viral. TSA hasn't got paid. I don't know how long. But I'm telling you, 6 hours. Let me tell you, my buttocks was itching me already, sitting down. You know, I'm walking around, you know, my wife was getting, even though we have one of those cards that we go in, the good thing about this, I'm gonna be honest. The good thing is that we have one of those cards that, you know, we have one of those lounges that you know, the lounge, you can go over there. You have your own, you can rent your own room. If we don't rent it because it's too much money, so we don't want to rent it. And they got bathrooms, you know, shower and all that stuff. And you pay a couple of dollars and you could use the shower. We did use that, you know. But it was, man, we said, oh, this is crazy what's going on. I'm telling you what's happening, guys. La situación, exactly. You know what I'm trying to say, grande. You know, la situación está jodida. La situación está jodida, ladies and gentlemen. No hay dinero por la calle. There's no money. There's no euros. There's no, you know, cuartos. There's no plata. No hay chavo. You know, tú sabes, está jodido. You know, está la cosa mala. Está la cosa mala. And then you meet people, when you're in those lounges, you meet people too, and they start bouncing off you and telling you things, you know. No, Bailey was unbelievable. Thurston Bailey's a lovable dog. She's the Amex Lounge. They have, I think it's called Turkey Lounge. They have Chase Lounge. So we belong to those things, and we can go right in, and that's it. But the people that have to sit out there for 6 hours, you know, and those, you know, las nalgas te duelen, papi. La situación está jodida. You know what I'm trying to say? We cover everything in this channel, papi. When you leave this channel, I open up your brain cells. Te las abro, papi. And my wife was telling me already, you know, listen to this. Even though that we got over there, those lounge chairs, sitting down, having a little margarita, you know, having some liquor. The Sapphire Lounge, that one too. I have that one too. And ladies and gentlemen, my wife, even me giving her all that, she still said, you know? I said, what are you talking about? Those people out there fighting out there, you know? Pero nada, it's what it is. You get what you pay for, you know? Exactly. So we got that covered. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell all of you something. I want to tell you about the most Google watches of 2026 first quarter. First quarter. You know, first quarter. And I want you to know which of these watches were. I'm going to start from the fifth to number one, okay? The fifth watch that was the most Googled, you know, or Chat GPT, you know, Chat GPT, AI. The fifth watch that was the most Googled in the first quarter. You're not going to believe this, ladies and gentlemen. It was the Omega Seamaster. The Omega Seamaster was number 5 as the most Googled first quarter of 2026 watch. Okay? Reference number 210-304-220-03001. It was Googled 1.1 million times. Okay? It's dead. Omega is dead. Omega está muerto. You know? He's dead. You do whatever you want, but it's dead. Number 4, ladies and gentlemen, as the watch that was Googled the most in the first quarter of 2026, It was, ladies and gentlemen, no other than the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Stainless Steel Blue Dial, reference number 16202, Blue Dial, ladies and gentlemen. In this watch, ladies and gentlemen, it was Googled in the first quarter of 2026, 1.9 million Googles. Unbelievable but true. Okay? Number 3, ladies and gentlemen. You see, it's incredible because you guys say the Daytona, 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 and that is beautiful. Pero papi, you got to understand that not everybody is going to be able to give away 25, give it away, give it away, give it away like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They can't give it away. You know, Daytona costs you 30. If you buy the new reference number, if you buy the 116 reference, is still, you know, in the high 20s, you know? So people can't, you know, they look at what they can, you know, what la mente le da, what the mind, you know, the mind gives you. You know, I can't get this one, but let me try to get this Rolex, right? In the next watch, number 3, Rolex. Number 3, that was Googled the most in 2026 in the first quarter of 2026 was the Rolex Stainless Steel Daytona Panda White Dial. Reference number 12650LN. 12650LN with a Google search of 2 million.3. Okay, in the first. And number 2, does anybody know what is the number 2 watch that was the most Googled? Anybody know? Nobody knows. Son lambones. Son lambones, no saben nada. That's why they keep on flim-flamming you, because you don't know what's going on. But I know. The number 2 watch, ladies and gentlemen. A gentleman, listen to this. A gentleman from, listen to this. A gentleman from over there, from Asia. A gentleman from Asia. He called me up, FaceTime. He sent me text messages from over there, from Japan. I don't know, over there, Singapore. You know what? I'm wrong. It was Singapore. And he was sending me a message to ask me, what did I think was a better investment? He was asking me if the 5711 stainless steel Patek Philippe with a blue dial, with the movement, I think it's called the movement. Somebody help me out with that special movement it has. I think it's the 334. I forgot the movement that it has, but it has a movement that was more desirable, the movement that it had. And he was asking me regarding that watch or the 5811 Patek Philippe white gold blue dial. Ladies and gentlemen, this was, and if he's here live and he has the tennis balls, he can say it right now. He asked me, what did I think was a better investment? You know, the steel or the white gold, you know? Perfect. So he told me about that. And ladies and gentlemen, I gotta tell you, I told him that, to me, honestly, the white gold was a better investment than the 5711 steel. Okay? So the number 2 watch that has been hassled and Googled the first quarter of thank you, Alex, of 2026 was the 5811 white gold blue dial. And ladies and gentlemen, that watch was Google more than 2.4 million Google search. Number 2, Patek Philippe 5811. I think it's a 41 millimeter. I think it's big. I don't know, 40. I don't know. You guys tell me. You guys know more than me. And ladies and gentlemen, if you guys tell me right now, I'll be very impressed. But it has to be all of you at the same time. What was the watch that was the most search in Google in the first quarter? Coño. Wow, what an animal. ¿Quién lo puso, brother? Lo puso Watch Addict 247. You, you, you little sandbag, you got it. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to listen to what Watch Addict just put there, ladies and gentlemen. The number one watch that was searched everywhere was no other than the Rolex stainless steel with a date. Black ceramic, black dial. Number one, ladies and gentlemen. It was searched everywhere. Everywhere. Just to let you know what's going on. And that watch, the 41 millimeter. 41 millimeter. I know. Me too, Watch Addict. I'm with you, Papa. I'm with you. And that watch was searched. Wow. It was searched 2.8 million searches for that watch. So that's letting you know, cómo está el mercado, what's happening, what are people, what they want, those 5 watches there for you, okay? So you have that. Now that we had that out of the, we have it out, I'm going to tell you something about the watch market has cooled down, ladies and gentlemen. And I know you guys don't want to, believe it, but believe me, the watch market has cooled down totally. And I'm going to talk about some watches that have really, really cooled down and the prices in the secondary gray watch market. You guys got to be very, very, very careful. And I'm going to give you some watches so you know what's happening. I'm not even going to give you the numbers. I'm going to give you watches that you got to be very, very careful. Number one watch that is cooled down big is the 41 millimeter froggy legs, with the green ceramic bezel, black dial, like a hawk, 41, the Submariner. Man, don't buy that hype, man. The watch is just cooling down, and everybody, every AD, you know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. The Starbucks, there you go, that one. Be careful with that watch. Slow down. Your AD has it, man. Your AD has it. These motherfroggers have it. No sean pendejo. Okay? You know what I'm trying to say, Randy. Thank you very much. Coño, the localization, papi, straight in. Be careful. I'm telling you this because I'm telling you, I was over there in the Maldives Islands and I had volcano rocks on my body and I was able to study this for you guys. So when I got back home, I can give you this, and I'm giving it to you. So that's one watch you got to be careful, ladies and gentlemen. You got to be careful. The next one, ladies and gentlemen, you got to be careful with the Rolex GMT Pepsi with a Jubilee bracelet, black dial, blue and red ceramic bezel, and also the one with the oyster bracelet with the blue and red ceramic bezel. Be careful, ladies and gentlemen. There's a bunch of crooks. There's a bunch of cockroaches out there asking for that watch $33,000. $33,000. Everything is right now dead. You got to be careful. And these people are looking for just one sardine can. One sardine can. Okay? The next one, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to scare you, but you need to know the truth. You ready for this? You gotta be strong and just hang in there and wait for the AD phone call. Stay away from all those colored dial, oyster, perpetual, Rolex watches. The yellow dial, beige dial, pistachio dial, purple dial, purple rain, 41, 36, you know what I'm saying? Papi, stay away from that turkey dial, turkey dial, Tiffany dial. Papi, stay away from that, papi. I'm the only one that does this, and I suffer, man. I suffer. My wife told me you need to slow down the channel because you came back very relaxed from over there, from Bora Bora, you know. Unbelievable Bora Bora, you know. You gotta be careful, you know. You gotta slow down. You did 6 hour wait in TSA, you know, you're tired, you know. But I'm telling you, because I care about you people, you gotta stay away from all those Oyster Perpetual color dials. No sean pendejo. 31 recovering tomato cans and only 18 thumbs up. Ustedes son unos gilipollas. This is why the channel's gonna finish. Kino, I told Kino, you know, Kino, I don't know what to tell you. I'm telling you, it's dropping faster than Billy Boy's pants in an Arkansas farmhouse. Save your children's dental insurance money, ladies and gentlemen. You know, for those clear bracelets, you know, clear ones, you know. I know what I'm trying to tell you. I know what I'm trying to tell you. You know, ladies and gentlemen, so I already told you about 2 Rolex, you know, models, 3 Rolex models you need to stay away. This one for the people who like James Bond, you know, Omega, James Bond. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, you need to, the Omega Bond watch, specific models, bracelets, you know, often, you know, they're kind of rough on your wrist. Te jala los pelos, you know, they pull your hair. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be careful, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta be careful. Life support, ladies and gentlemen. Achilles, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying, watch addict. I'm telling you, it gets your hairs. You know, I got little hairs here, you know, and they tangle me sometimes, and even in this watch. So I'm telling you, you got to be careful with the Omega Bond watch, you know, Omega Bond watch, because it has a, you know, it's critical. It's critical, you know, the hair puller, Thank you. Oh my God. The hair puller, that was good. So you need to be careful with that watch because it's dead. It's dead. Am I giving you prices? No, I'm not giving you prices. I'm just telling you it's dead. Okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is another watch that you need to be very, very careful. And ladies and gentlemen, here it goes. It's the cousin of Rolex. A cousin. Maybe it's the nephew. Maybe it's the nephew of Rolex, not the cousin. Maybe it's even the nephew. And ladies and gentlemen, to my amaze, exactly. It is the Tudor watch. And you need to be very careful with this watch. It is, okay, the little brother, all right, they call it the little brother. Mira pa eso, es el hermanito chiquitito, como mierda, coño. El hermano chiquito, you know. Ah, bien. We're talking about the Tudor Black Bay. And ladies and gentlemen, here it goes. The Tudor Black Bay 54. You know, so for some, the Tudor Black Bay 54 for some models, you know, for some models, I'm telling you, it's a great looking watch, but it's a 37 millimeter watch, 37 millimeter watch. Size is not ideal for everybody. Be careful. Be careful. I know what I'm trying to tell you. Be careful. Papi, this is the only channel that's going to tell you the truth, Papa. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. This channel has made many of those watch channels that you guys like to see and give them all your children's tuition money. That's fine. But this channel has made those channels honest. I want you to know something. And where credit is due, credit is due. Credit to ourselves, to Sweet Kid Kino, and to the channel I'm going to talk about, because they're going back to basics. Because they know already they can't flim-flam me no more because I'm around. We're talking about no other than Deputy Boxing Black Eyes with the Tweety Bird haircut, and his sidekick Jiminy Cricket with the Chia Pet spray can hair, and the Pete Rose cap, with hair. He has those plugs in his hair. Plugs in his hair. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. With white out jumbo ears, And also the Puerto Rican Charlie Brown, the mad scientist, Dora the Explorer. They're all there, ladies and gentlemen. And I have made them honest again. I have made them honest, and they have gone back down to basics. To talk to you about this. ¿Tú entendiste? You know what I'm trying to say? They went now to basics because we got them. We got them. And all of them, we got them already. This channel, you got to thank always Sweet Kino. He likes when you call him Joaquin. You call him Joaquin. You know what I'm saying? Prune Face, all that gang. The Walrus Fat Bastard, Big Pun and Heavy D, the two Jehovah Witness brothers, the two little toddler body brothers out of Miami. You know what I'm saying? The 7 Hindu brothers, from India, 7 brothers with tape haircuts. Mr. Magoo, the hungry hippo, Mr. Magoo. You don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going crazy, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going mad because I'm defending all of you. Let me get some of this, Don Julio. Don Julio relaxes me. So, ladies and gentlemen, they have all been humbled by us, Papi. Whether you want to believe it or not, Papi, we made them humble. And what do we get for getting them humble? We get this. We get the localization en el paredón. You know what a paredón is? They put you in a paredón. They put something in your eyes. They put a cigarette in your mouth. They give it to you. I know what I'm trying to tell you, ladies and gentlemen. We made them humble. But here it goes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to talk to you about a watch that you need to be very, very careful. It's the Tissot. Tissot, the PRX. For some, a popular model. The Tissot PRX is for some of those models, A popular model, but like the Tudor 54, it might not be suitable. It might not be suitable for those with smaller wrists, despite his popularity. I'm telling you what it is. Be careful. I said for some, ultra dead. Just to let you know. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you one more because I believe you guys deserve it, Okay, it's not in the menu, Papi, but you got to be fair with everybody. I just cannot talk about this one and that one. I got to talk about everybody. It's in a septic tank and smelly dead. Terrible. Even Christopher jumped in. Terrible brand. There you go. But it's for everybody. Okay, now watch this brand. Because you're saying that Tissot is terrible. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about another watch. Another watch company that you have to, I think is an unbelievable watch company. That was probably one of my first watches that I had, watch brand. And I'm sure that at one moment, please tell me that you had this watch too. Please tell me this watch brand. We're talking about no other than the Seiko Prospex LX. The spring drive. The spring drive. His pricing is often between $3,800 and $4,800 in the secondary gray watch market. Unbelievable. The Seiko Prospex LX. I don't know. I don't know about that watch. I don't have it. Maybe you guys know about it, but they call it the spring drive. Its pricing is often between $3,800 and $4,800 in the secondary gray watch market, And it's just too close. It's just, you see that? People right here, they know about this, papi. La gente no son pendejo. But listen to this. I told you the price between $3,800 and $4,800 in the gray watch market. It's just too close. Listen to this. Okay. Now watch this, Christopher. but it's just too close. Too close to the Grand Seiko. Too close to the Grand Seiko. Making it a questionable value. A questionable value. It's making it a questionable value, that watch. The Prospect or the Grand Seiko. You do whatever you want with your money. I'm just trying to tell you what's going on. And ladies and gentlemen, especially with potentially discontinuation rumors. You do whatever you want. I give it to you the way it is. I wrap it up for you. I put a couple of balloons. I give each of you a little gift back. And then, ladies and gentlemen, the watch that all of you, that's fine, grande, muy bonito, bien, papá, bien. But the watch that you need to all stay away from. All stay away from. Some of you mentioned it already, but I was keeping it for last. Does anybody know which is the watch? I'm going to tell you, they're saying keep away from this watch. Porque vas a perder las nalgas. Vas a perder las nalgas. Vas a perder las nalgas. It's not that one, Creative Experiment. It's not that one. It's a brand, a watch brand. How's that? A watch brand. Anybody know? Ladies and gentlemen, no, papi, no. Stay away. I mean, you do whatever you want. There it is. 30 West Mike. There it is. Richard Mille. I'm not going to tell you what model, what size, this, that. Alex, our Cartier is nothing. It's, $15,000, $10,000. You understand me? But when you're talking about a watch that's $300,000, probably these people still parading these watches at $400,000 and nobody's buying them but themselves. Nobody's buying those. Let's be honest, man. They have beautiful materials, NTPT, TPT, STD, STP. It's over there. Come on. If you're having a hard time with a Tissot, and you're having a hard time with a Tudor, and you're having a hard time with a Seiko, que eso no es nada, es mierda. No te metas con Richard Mille que vas a perder las nalgas. No te metas, okay? No te metas. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you understand. I gave you two sides of the story so you know what's going on. I'm going to go now into a watch market update because I haven't given you guys a watch market update in some time, and I want to give you one. All right, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, our first watch market update of the day is the AP Royal Oak stainless steel white dial, black gauges, Panda. You understand this? Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that this watch, this Audemars Piguet Royal Oak stainless steel with a white dial and black gauges, papi, black gauges, was a monster watch. I know the Corona era has been a while, pero papi, this watch was $100,000 all day, every day. They caught you wearing that stainless steel Panda in the streets, in the mall, in the club, in Big Daddy's liquor store, Flanagan's, whatever, and you had that thing on your hand, tenías un monstruo de reloj en la mano, el Panda, okay? 26331. 26331. Ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want with your money. It's your money, and you spend it as you please. Papi, these people are spoofing prices left and right. These people are buying watches dealer to dealer, dealer to dealer. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow's Monday, and Tuesday we have the biggest antique watch show and watches in Miami Beach. In Miami Beach. They have sent me like 10 invitations for free. 10. Está muerto. Está muerto. But you do whatever you want. I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, somebody said 45, 40, and I'm going to tell you because I'm stupid like that, because cash is king. She used to, coño, este era de una jodienda, brother. I must show you this number. Randy said 34,500. Randy said 34,500, and I must show you one number I'm going to tell you. It's not Randy's number, but man, he's flirting with it. He's flirting with it. I'm going to tell you, don't pay for that watch more than $37,000 and dropping faster than Billy Boy's pants in an Arkansas farmhouse. Don't pay more than that. Don't pay more than that. You don't want it naked. You want it full set. You don't want it naked. You want it full set. Don't pay more than 37. Okay? Our next watch, ladies and gentlemen. Our next watch. Thank you, Watch Addict. Thank you, Papi. Thank you. We're serious now, guys. We're serious now. Our next watch is the Rolex Stainless Steel Sky Dweller. Rolex Stainless Steel Sky Dweller 42 millimeter white dial oyster bracelet. I repeat, oyster bracelet, not Jubilee. Oyster bracelet, ladies and gentlemen. Reference number 326934. And ladies and gentlemen, do yourself a favor. This is a white dial. A white dial. A smelly, smelly white dial. You know, the boring Sky Dweller. I'm sorry if I'm offending you. Don't pay. Oh man, you guys are gonna be in for a surprise. Your numbers are still giving money away. You know what I'm trying to say, Grandes. You know what I'm saying, Grande 65. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, don't pay for that white dial. Don't pay, for that Johnson & Johnson powder white dial. Johnson & Johnson. Don't pay more than $14,800 and you do whatever you want with your money. This is the #1 watch market update show chosen by no other than Fudinki, ladies and gentlemen. Also by Sachs Goldman Sachs, ladies and gentlemen. Esto es una jodienda, papá. You guys don't know what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. You guys been asleep for too long, ladies and gentlemen. And you guys are lucky that you got me. You guys are lucky that you guys have me. Salute the out, ladies and gentlemen. Salute the out, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you what it is. Don't pay more than $14,800, Alex. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, here it goes. Because these people have been hyping up this watch. And we laugh. Me and Sweet Kino laugh at them. Because they've been trying to hype up this price on this watch for the last 2 years. They play with the numbers back and forth. We're talking about a Patek Philippe. Patek Philippe blue dial, white gold. Here it goes. Let's see if anybody's smart out there. Patek Philippe Nautilus, blue dial, white gold. What reference number am I talking about? Abuel. What reference number am I talking about, ladies and gentlemen? Collector's Dream. Pretty close, but it's not that one. Here it goes. It's more powerful than that 50. There it goes. Bravo, Aquiles. The moose is loose. The moose is loose. We're talking about the 5740. The 5740 to me is the most, to me, es el Nautilus más lindo, gang. It's the most beautiful Nautilus to me. The 5740. These flim-flammers who have been fleecing you for so long have a price on that watch. Papi, they're looking for sardine cans. They're looking desperately for a sardine can. So you can pay him, their yearly salary with this watch, The 5740 blue dial 40 millimeter with a retail price of $178,045. 178 $45 is the retail price plus your Uncle Sam's taxes, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I'm just trying to tell you, okay, it goes, Christopher said it goes about retail. But do you know what they're asking? Does anybody know what they're asking? You know, your favorite Muppet Boiler Room secondary gray watch market channel is asking for that watch. No, we know that part already, Christopher. How much are those dealers asking for that watch? Higher. Higher than that watch, addict. Higher. Higher. One more. Put it up there. No, 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 no. Okay, you're getting somewhere now. You're getting somewhere now. They're asking for that watch. Coño, 30 West, Mike, you're on the game. They're asking for that watch, $250,000. They're asking for that watch, $250,000. $250,000. Don't be lollipop suckers. Don't be window lickers, tomato cans, crayon eaters, sandbags, possum kickers, cow tippers, tire kickers. You know what I'm trying to say? Don't be none of the above. No sean pendejo. You guys have me. You guys have me. Don't pay for that watch. And I'm telling you, I wouldn't pay for it either. You do whatever you want. ¿Tú entendiste, pai? ¿Tú entiendes? ¿Tú sabes? Don't pay for that watch. I'm not telling you to buy the watch. I'm not telling you to buy the watch. This is, no hay dinero. There's no money out there, papi. No hay dinero, no hay dinero. Si tú no eres traquetero, you know what traquetero is? You know what traquetero is? If you don't know what traquetero is, you Google it, because I'm not going to tell you. Pero si tú eres un traquetero, tú lo puedes comprar porque tú eres un traquetero. You know? Tú sabes? Thank you, Mr. Blair. You know? But I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, in all fairness, don't pay for that watch. Don't pay for that watch more. I'm going to say between. Don't pay more than $197 to $205. That's it. You do whatever you want. It's your money. This is the #1 watch mark. Right now we have spookers. Spookers watching this channel. And you know what they're saying? This mother frogger, this cockroach. That's what they call me. And I like that. I invite them to call me that. But I'm doing this for you guys. For free. For free. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk to you about another Patek Philippe Nautilus. It is also a white gold. White gold with a blue jean dial. With a blue jean dial, ladies and gentlemen. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? It's white gold. That's a good hint. Again, white gold. Unbelievable. Patek Philippe Nautilus white gold. With a blue jean dial. I'll make it simple for you guys. And a blue jean strap. A blue jean strap. Go ahead, put it up there. Thank you very much, Mr. Blair. I can't, they gave me a TV tower antenna lightning, Mr. Blair, and I can't even put a heart on you. I'm so sorry from the bottom of my heart. De verdad, agradecido un millón por ese apoyo, for that, for that thank you chat, because you don't say, you know what I'm saying. Thank you, Mr. Blair. Thank you so much, Papa. Thank you. Te llevo en el corazón, Papa. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? It's the 5980 Nautilus. Beautiful blue jean strap, blue jean dial. No, it's a Nautilus, Papi. It's a Nautilus. 5980, the white gold. And ladies and gentlemen, these people, they have this watch at 190. 190, 190,000, 180,000. You know what I'm trying to say? All this. And I got to tell you the truth. There's no money out there, Mr. Donut. Mr. Donut, give your money to the animal shelters, to the Camiles house. You know the Camiles house here in Miami, downtown? Me and my wife, we go over there, we drop off some, some sweets for them, donuts and all that, because those people drink a lot, so we bring them sweets, para que se alimenten, and we help them out. So maybe you can do the same thing, stop giving your money to these people. Stop maintaining their lifestyle. They're looking for sardine cans. And I'm trying to prevent that you become a sardine can. You know what I'm trying to say. Don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want, but don't pay for that watch more than $167,000. I'm not telling you to buy it. I'm telling you where the price is at. That's all. Papi, for you to buy that watch, you gotta be like the guy from Pennsylvania that has a son. He's like 6 feet 9 inches, and he's moving around 30 million here, 80 million here. Papi, they're gonna have to. You listen to me. All those watches are gonna have to go back and become a safe queen. They're gonna have to become a safe queen because no hay dinero, brother. No hay dinero. I know somebody that has 3 of them in the brown burgundy box with the bubble plastic in there. No, nobody's going to give $100,000 to nobody. Nobody. Papi, you got to be, Papi, even the people that have money get smart. TV tower, antenna, lightning. I'm telling you, they're attacking me. You do whatever you want. You know what I'm trying to say. Thank you, watch addict. Son pendejo. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Rolex rose gold black dial with white gauges. The Daytona, Le Mans. The Le Mans. Unbelievable. Rose gold. So you understand, you had the white gold, you had the yellow gold, and now you have the rose gold. This is a watch before the increase of Rolex. Before the increase of Rolex was a $50,000 retail price watch. The white gold or the yellow gold. Understand? The Le Mans, very beautiful watch. Very, very beautiful watch. No, it's fully rose gold. Fully rose gold. Black dial with white gauges on rose gold, right? They had the white gold at 225, the yellow gold at 250. That all this flim flam, same thing. I'm gonna tell all of you this: if you're looking to buy the off catalog Le Mans 40 millimeter, papi, spectacular watch. Es un baja panty. It's a panty dropper. You put a pair of flip-flops, you walk around the pier in Haulover Beach, you walk around your hand. You don't need no Ferrari. You don't need no suit. This is your suit, and this is your Ferrari. Más nada. La panty, poof, to the floor. You know what I'm saying? Ra, 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 ra. I'm telling you what it is. Don't pay for that watch. Here it goes. Don't pay for that watch more than $189,000. You do whatever you want. Papi. You do whatever you want. Ra, 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 ra. Dead. You do whatever you want. You're going to be dead if you pay more than that. Dead. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Vacheron Constantin Historics. Somebody told me before, should I buy a sailboat or should I buy a 222? Somebody told me that in the channel today, not last week, 2 weeks ago. Today, somebody told me, hey, Juan, what should I buy with my money? A sailboat or a 222? And I responded back to that gentleman, really, really kind. Buy yourself that sailboat, man. So beautiful. Have fun with that. You don't understand how those volcano rocks that I had on my body, I feel like unbelievable, I know what I'm trying to tell you. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a beautiful 37 millimeter, with a small little wrist, yellow gold, champagne dial, Retail price is $81,500. $81,500. Listen to this again. This is a Vacheron Constantin Historics 222, the 4200H 37 millimeter yellow gold champagne dial. 81,500 is the retail price, and I'm gonna tell all of you because I want those lambones to remember me always, so they can go, man, this mother frogger. Here it goes. Don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want. How much do you think I'm going to try not to pay for that watch? I gave you the retail price. How much? How much do you think I'm going to try not to pay for that watch? Papi, Vacheron Constantin. Probably this is one of the hottest watches they have. Besides the overseas, which they're all dead in water, you know, floating face down like this in the backyard pool, you know, floating down. You know, when the mother walks in and they find like this dead, you know, with skid mark stains in their underwears, you know, floating in the water. This one, the historic 222 yellow gold champagne dial. Anybody know? Nobody knows, right? I told you the retail price is $81,500. And I'm going to tell you because I'm stupid like that. Don't pay for that watch. Don't you dare pay for that watch more. Don't you dare. Yes, with funeral curtains, you know, like that guy, Uncle Johnny. You know Uncle Johnny? Eddie Monster? That guy. Don't you pay for that watch more. Here it goes. Don't you pay more than $63,200. You do whatever you want, Bobby. The watch market is dead. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. The fake Italian, you know, over there. The fake Italian with the monkey eyebrows. Flat top monkey eyebrows. The fake Italian. I know what I'm trying to tell you, ladies and gentlemen. I know what I'm trying to tell you. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. The reason that, you know, we're going to have to do the Big Boss Watch channel is because, yeah, you know, we're going to start something new because, you know what? The appreciation we get here is limited, you know. We don't feel good no more, you know. We don't feel good no more. We feel like Nicky. You remember Nicky? Nicky from Goodfellas? You saw what happened to Nicky. He thought he was gonna get made, and you saw what happened to him in that empty house over there, you know. You saw what happened to Nicky. You know who Nicky is, you know. He was gonna be made, and Henry Hill and Jimmy Conway were happy, and Nicky didn't make it. And that's how we feel. And Paco Gambino told me, listen, when you don't feel that you appreciate it, you need to walk away. So, you know, Kino's preparing everything, and you know, I'm letting you know what's going on. Just letting you know. I'm letting you know what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a watch. This is a Rolex Daytona white gold. Listen to this watch so you understand how the watch prices have gone bananas. This is, Papi, this is, to me, this is one of the nicer Daytona watches. This is Daytona white gold with a Tahitian dial, mother of pearl dial. Listen to this watch. This watch es una locura, you know, a mother of pearl, and it has big, gigantic diamond on the bezel. Completely forgotten. Exactly, a monster watch. When I tell you the price of this watch, you're gonna go, wow. A Tahitian mother MOP, you know, mother of pearl. You know, beautiful colors. Beautiful. Papi, un relosazo. When I'm telling you, when I tell you the price, you're gonna go, coño. And this one, you had to be, you know, you had to be a monster. They will take you to the back door over there, and they will clean up and they will wax your sinus congestion for free. You know, when they will give you this watch. You know, this is the watch we're going to give you. Mother of pearl, baguette diamond bezel, una jodienda. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you the price of this watch and the reference number. This is a new reference number. The 126579 letters RBR. RBR. And I'm going to tell all of you ladies and gentlemen, so you don't make a mistake, this is a brutal watch. Don't pay, and it's, I mean, you do whatever you want. I'm not telling you to buy it, but don't pay for that watch more than $81,000. $81,000. Don't pay more than that, okay? You do whatever you want, ladies and gentlemen. You do whatever you want, okay? I'm telling you, but the price, you see this watch, and I have seen this watch, and it's like, damn, it's, the price is tempting. And then there's everybody that's in back of the Le Mans, yellow gold, white gold, rose gold, this one, the meteorite down, and they're not looking at that one. Because that one is called the sleeper. That one is called the sleeper. Y ustedes son los lambones. The retail price of that watch, you do your own homework. I'm almost finishing here this watch market update so I can continue on. I'm going to tell you about a watch. I'm going to tell you about a Richard Mille. A Richard Mille. This is a Richard Mille RM6501. This is a 2021 rose gold. Rose gold. The only thing that is not rose gold is the pushers. The pushers. There's one that's complete rose gold. This one has the casing is rose gold, and it has the pushers and titanium and some of the sketch, But this watch right here, in the Bitcoin era, when those young kids were riding around in orange gold fast cars, green M&M colors, Lamborghinis and Porsches and all that good stuff, they wanted this watch. And this watch went all the way up. I mean, all the way up. All the way up. And you're going to go, but how up, Juan? Papi, it went disgustingly all the way up to close to a melon. To close to a melon. You know what a melon is? A melon. Yeah, so right there goes all the way to $1 million. All the way. It went up to $765,000, that watch. And those kids, in downtown, they're like around 9 Indian brothers, from India. And they have baseball caps backwards and with logos of their company on their head. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about, Bobby. Those people saw that watch. The button pressers. That company right there, that company, they sold that watch to one of those M&M color customers. Orange, green, blue for $765,000. More money than brains. Bien dicho, Christopher. Papi, when I tell you this, you're going to go, wow. And I said, I made a video strictly on that watch. He made $10 million on Bitcoin. He bought an apartment, a house, two matching Lamborghini, one green, one yellow. Unbelievable. Hermes for the wife, AP for him, bam, bing for the girl, for his side chick, and $765 because he had the Lambo and he wanted that one, ladies and gentlemen. He sold it back then because he needed money to keep on running his lifestyle because he was popping bottles in every corner. You don't know about that, but I do know about that. He was popping bottles in every corner. And then to match the Richard Mille, he bought a diamond necklace that it cost the Indian brothers. I know. Don't tell me how I know. I know. Don't tell me how I know. He bought a diamond bracelet for $35,000 that it cost the Indian brothers $5 to produce. $5 to produce. And he also wanted to sell the necklace. They told him they couldn't buy the Richard Mille back and they couldn't buy the necklace diamond back. You know what I'm trying to say, Thurston. You help me out. You know it. Watch Addict. Thank you, Bobby. And ladies and gentlemen, nobody wanted to buy the watch. Nobody. 765. 765. And they told them, if you want, the Indian brother said, if you want, we'll take it on the favorite word and consignment. And we'll try to get for you. Listen to what they told them at that time. We'll try to get you 400 for it. And you give us a 5%. Hijo de puta. The guy freaked out. The guy freaked out. And he started running around. He went over there. He went over there. He went over here. And finally, he got the two Toddler Body brothers. And the two Toddler Body brothers were able to move the watch for him for $365,000. How much did he lose in the watch, ladies and gentlemen? How much? What a sad story. And the chain, he had to sell it for $8,000. $8,000. How much did he lose? Come on, keep on calculating. The Indian brothers, you know, with the logo, you know, with the barbershop logo here, and the tape haircut, and the hats backwards. You know, you imagine selling a $765,000 watch, and you're selling it with a hat backwards, and here with your logo right here in your hand. It's unbelievable, man. Somebody said you got to be brainless. I don't know. Somebody said that, you know. Somebody said brainless. You know, money, brain. I don't know what it was. I think it was Christopher that said it. Christopher, put it again, please. Ladies and gentlemen, exactly. Wow. So how it is, Christopher. I'm gonna tell you today. Here it goes. This is not too long ago. I'm gonna tell you today, because I'm stupid like that, more money than brains. That's what it was. More money than brains. You know how much I'm gonna turn out to pay for that watch today? Don't pay for that watch more than $246,000. Do you know what the retail price of that watch is? Does anybody know what the retail price of that watch is? Bravo, Randy, bravo. $360,000 is the retail price. Stay away from Richard Mille. Vas a perder las nalgas. Vas a caminar con Hanes underwears, Fruit of Loom underwears with skid marks all over the house. You don't know what you don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, here's another watch. Here's another watch that you guys should look into, you know. It is the Rolex Yellow Gold Zombie with a Jubilee bracelet. Beautiful looking watch. Black dial, unbelievable looking watch. Black and gray ceramic bezel. The Zombie, you know. Reference number 126718 GRNR. Beautiful watch. Beautiful watch. The GRNR 126718. 40 millimeter. Beautiful. This is yellow gold, Bobby. Alex, yellow gold. Yellow gold. Yellow gold. Solid bracelet and casing. Black dial. You know, these watches, you got to be very, very careful. They try to hype them up, but they know they can't, because the only people that are buying watches, if you would understand who are the only people that are buying these watches, you would understand what I'm trying to say. Dealer to dealer are hyping prices among each others. Dealer to dealer are hyping prices among each other. Those are the only customers. You buy it from here. An example, you go and you say, I have a Rolex date 36 millimeter yellow gold with a puzzle dial, emoji dial. And that one sells it to him for $170. Then the other one buys it for $180. And the watch just keeps on climbing up. They're spoofing, you know? Spoof. You know what spoofing is? Spoofing. So anyway, don't pay for that Zombie, GMT, Jubilee, Black Dial, Black Gray. Don't pay. Exactly, it's fake. But I don't want to say fake because I need your help. Don't pay for that watch. And here it goes. I got you, Alberto. I got your price. I'm gonna give it to you, Alberto. I'm gonna give you the emoji yellow gold 36 millimeter price. Just give me a second, papi. Don't pay for that watch. Coño grande, eres grande de verdad. Grande, eres grande. Don't pay for that watch more than $40,500. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. Papi, these people are trading among themselves. That's all. That's all. That's all. Well, if you sold it, I hope you sold it like for $270,000 like they're saying. But I'm going to tell you, Alberto, don't pay for that watch. I wouldn't pay for that watch more than $191,000. 191. I don't know what you sold it for. 191. That's your price. 191 emoji. That's your price. Okay, so that's there. And I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you this price here, which is a watch that a lot of you like. I'm going to give you this watch. It is the Rolex Titanium 42 millimeter black ceramic bezel. Reference number 226627. I lied to you. I take it back. I take it back. Yes, I'm sorry. 226627. 42 millimeter, and it has a retail price of $16,000. And I'm going to tell all of you, you do whatever you want. You can still continue to believe that the watch costs 30, that the watch costs 29, that the watch costs 26, that the watch costs 25. I'm going to tell you, don't pay for that watch, for that beautiful Rolex Titanium black dial, black ceramic. Don't pay for that watch. Randy, this is for you, Randy. Don't pay for that watch more than $23,000. And that, you do whatever you want. If they tell you 25, you walk away. If they tell you 24, you walk away. You have 23, this is what I have. Papi, you put it on the table, they give you the watch. Papi, you put the money on the table, pa, they give you the watch. No more pigs this Christmas. No more pigs. No sean lambones. This is the #1 watch market update show in the world. We're hated all over the world. Stay away. Smart money is staying away from luxury goods, ladies and gentlemen. If you have cash, you're king. You're King Kong. Tú eres King Kong, papi. Tú eres King Kong. Tú eres King Kong. You do whatever you want. It's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's what it is. Look, I'm going to tell you something here. This is going to be my last watch market update of this beautiful day. That I'm back in the United States of America after 6 hours waiting in TSA. Only I was sitting up there in one of those lounges, you know, one of those Sapphire, Amex, you know. I was up there and I took a bath and I sat in the, the toilet and everything, you know. But it was 6 hours, waiting to come back home. But I'm going to tell you this watch here. Nothing special, nothing special. Gracias, Thurston. Gracias, Papa. Thank you. Nothing special. But this is a Rolex. Listen to this watch. This, and I saw this watch. I saw it in the trip that we just took. I saw this watch, and I laughed. I said, "Wow, incredible, beautiful watch." Okay. There's the Rolex Rose Gold Chocolate Dial Sky Dweller Oyster Flex, 42 millimeter, new reference. A little tweak here, a little tweak there. A little movement, fix here, there, a little more power reserve. Does anybody know what the retail price of this watch is? Does anybody? The reference number is the 336235. Does anybody know the retail price of this watch? It's crazy. Nobody knows it. Okay. But that, okay. But there's still many people out there that are willing to give away their children's tuition money and give away their wife's 401k and their mother's, house that they left them. They don't care. $50,000. Correct, Grande. To be exact, the watch costs $50,850. How much am I going to tell you before I leave? Don't pay for that watch. How much? How much? Let's see where you guys are at. Come on, throw numbers there. 41,500. Go ahead. 39,000. 52 max. Okay. 52 max. Wow. It's a lot of money, watch, Adik. Okay. 40,000. Well, I'm going to tell you. Because I'm stupid like that, and I like to be stupid like that. Don't pay for that watch, ladies and gentlemen. Don't pay for that watch more than $38,600. You do whatever you want. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this Watch Market Update show. You learned something. You learn what's happening out there. You learn about what watches have been Googled the most on this first quarter of 2026. You learn about what watches are dead and you should stay away, like from the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Color Dial watches, the Omega James Bond, the Tudor, the Tresort, Richard Mille, all these watches. Stay away from them, Stay away from them. Don't be stupid. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be operating a new channel, and it's going to be called the Big Boss Watch Channel. Just to let you know. So keep your eyes on the lookout for that, new channel. Okay, guys, I hope you guys enjoy the show. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys have fun with me, because I surely did have fun with you guys. You guys have made me laugh very, very much. On behalf of me and Sweet Kid Kino, as we say always, take care and brush your hair. Un abrazo a tutti. Ciao. Lo quiero mucho. I will, Thurston. Be well.